Hello friend, this is Surya Padhi. Today I'm going to talk about Sap Bpc allocation process, which is applicable to BPC standard. The content of this presentation, first we will go through the disclaimer about the author and Sap Bpc standard allocation process. This is a standard disclaimer. This is about me. And now we are in the topic Sap BPC standard allocation. In this presentation, you will learn how you can achieve allocation process with the help of the script logic. Allocation is defined as the process of sending and or quantities from one or more sender object to one or more receiver object. In SAP business planning and consolidation, a business calculation engine known as script logic can be used to systematically define and run the allocation function. In this lesson, you will learn how you can allocate cost from one profit center called general to to other profit centers. In this scenario, the general profit center is used to collect the cost and input at the month end business input statistical key figure to allocate cost from general profit center to other profit centers. Like currency conversion, you can call the allocation script on the fly through default logic or the default.lgf or through data manager package. In this example, allocation logic is called through the default.lgf. Business case ABC Inc. is a wholesaler of clothing and maintain its book in accrual basis. As a process, it incurs following expenses in a periodic basis and record these expenses in a generic profit center called general. Later during the closing process, it allocates the cost to other profit centers based on the statistical key figure. So in this matrix, my expenses is on the left hand side, my statistical key figures are on the right hand side. Traveling expenses will be allocated based on the headcount. Admin overhead will be allocated based on the headcount. Advertisement expenses will be allocated based on the sales volume. Telephone expenses will be allocated based on the telephone calls. Interest expenses will be on the basis of the weight. So to achieve this allocation process, we need a model, we need a reporting model, and we need a input schedule and a report where we can see the initial where business or the user can key the expenses as well as statistical key figure, and the report after allocation the business can see the allocated figures, and we need to have a script logic. Let us see one by one. So this is my input schedule as well as report, and you can see on in this input schedule my page axis I have the entity at the best level and time February 2020, category actual, currency is LC, periodic measure is periodic, intercompany is no intercompany, scope is S underscore non transaction flow, flow is transaction, and I have profit center audio on column C and D. And on column C, I have audit called input where user will key the numbers. And I have general profit center, healthcare, lighting, TV, and all. So on the first part, you can see I have account dimension members starting with ST, that is the statistical key figure. And later we have on this row, you can see the expenses that will be allocated. So in this slide, you can see the expenses is entered. Traveling expenses 50,000, admin is 20,000, advertisement is 80,000, telephone is telephone expenses is 100k, and interest is 20k. And user also keyed some of the statistical key figure and audio. In case of uh, audio, the statistical key figure are telephone calls are 10, head counts 20, sales volume 50, and weight 10. Similarly, there is a assumption that general cost center will not observe general profit center will not observe any expenses, and it will be allocated to other profit center only. In this particular case, healthcare is not observing any cost, that the region statistical key figure was not keyed here. In case of lighting, the key figures are 10 for telephone calls, 21 for head count, 24 is sales volume, and 8 as a 6 as a volume weight. And in case of TV profit center, telephone calls are 40, head count is 30, sales volume 28, and weight is 12. And once you submit this input, you will get a message that system is sending 17 records to the database. Click on yes to confirm this message. So now you can see that system is trying to save the data, and at the end of this saving process, it will trigger the default logic, and the default logic will trigger the allocation logic, and allocation logic will calculate a portion the expenses, and it will post to a respective profit center or centers based on the statistical key figure. Now you can see that allocation logic was executed, and the general profit center got the negative figure. In case of traveling, it got negative 15,000. In case of admin, it is got negative 20,000. In case of advertisement, it got negative 80,000. And similarly, telephone expenses, it is got negative 100k. And all these expenses were allocated to audit profit center, audio profit center, lighting profit center, and TV profit center based on the statistical key figure, whatever was entered in the respective profit center. At the end, allocation audit rate was zero because negative figure is coming from the general profit center, and the positive figures are coming from the other profit center. So allocation total was zero, and input is 15,000 because this column is the sum of um, the all the input column, all the profit center. Now you can see how you can define the process based on statistical key figure, how you can allocate it. Now to accomplish this, the main important logic is the allocation script logic or the logic script. So that I'm going to show you here. This is my allocation LGF, which was executed in the background to allocate the expenses from general profit center to other profit center. And here the first segment called allocation of the traveling expenses. Then the second loop is posting the reversal to the general profit center. So if you read this script logic, what it is doing here, what means what to be allocated. So here I am collecting the dollars or collecting the numbers for the intersection of general input and expenses. Where means where it is going to write. So here I'm telling system write to other to profit center which is not equal to general, and based on right with the audited allocation and to the expenses to the same expense account. So using means what? So what will be what to be allocated, where to be allocated, by using what? Using determines it is a statistical key figure. We are using statistical key figure to allocate the expenses from general profit center to other profit center. Similarly, for each and every expenses, you can write the loop and system the default logic when you submit the data. If the allocation LGF is included in the default logic, once you submit the data, default logic will trigger the allocation logic, and allocation logic will allocate the expenses on the fly. You can see the expenses were allocated to the respective from the general profit center to respective profit center. So this is the default logic. You can see that default logic I have included allocation logic. That the reason when you are saving the data, it is triggering allocate. The default logic is triggering the allocation logic. I hope this will help you to understand the allocation process. If you need the entire dimension member, the script logic, let me know by so that I can share with you those information so that you can simulate this process on your own. Subscribe my YouTube channel for updated information and click on the bell icon so that you will get the notification when I'm uploading the new videos on SAP. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. So these are the two books what I have authored earlier. One is SAP ERP Financial SAP FICO, and the second one is SAP ERP Financial Quick Reference Guide. So one is in SAP 4.7, one in SAP 6.0. Still, these are valid. And if you want to purchase or if you want to refer them, visit amazon.com to purchase these books. Thank you.